Thunder roared over the misty mountains, the wind howling like a wild beast as rain lashed down in relentless sheets, turning the trail into a muddy torrent that sucked at our boots with every desperate step. Jordan and I, drenched to the bone, our clothes heavy and clinging like second skins, pushed through the thick underbrush, branches whipping our faces until we finally spotted the cabin nestled among the towering pines. We've been hiking buddies for years, conquering trails from sun-drenched valleys to snow-capped peaks, sharing laughs over campfires, survival tips during tough ascents, and the occasional deep conversation under starlit skies. But tonight, as lightning cracked the sky in jagged bursts, illuminating our weary, rain-streaked faces in stark flashes, something shifted in the air between us. Our usual easy camaraderie felt charged with an unspoken tension, electric and palpable, mirroring the bolts, streaking overhead and sending shivers down my spine that had nothing to do with the cold. The cabin's door creaked open on rusty hinges with a groan that echoed the thunder, revealing a dusty interior lit only by those fleeting flashes from the tempest outside, where the musty scent of damp wood and earth mingled with the sharp ozone of the storm, wrapping around us like a tangible fog as we stumbled inside, slamming the door against the gale. I shrugged off my soaked jacket, the wet fabric clinging stubbornly before peeling away to reveal my toned arms, sculpted from countless treks across rugged trails, muscles aching from the day's exertion but alive with adrenaline. I flashed a familiar grin, shaking out my dripping hair, droplets scattering like tiny sparks in the dim cabin, catching the faint light from the windows. Man, that storm hit out of nowhere, huh? 1 second we're cruising along the ridge, the next we're running for cover like the sky's falling, I said, my voice carrying the easy rhythm of our years together, though a new edge of adrenaline sharpened my words, making my heart race just a little faster. Jordan's gaze lingered a beat too long, tracing the lines of my frame before meeting my eyes, something unspoken flickering in his expression. Yeah, lucky we spotted this place. Would have been a rough night otherwise, out there getting pummeled, he replied, his tone steady but warm, laced with that quiet strength I'd always admired. He knelt by the dusty hearth, his broad shoulders flexing as he coaxed a spark into flame with steady hands, the fire's growing light catching the rugged planes of his face, sharp jaw, weathered lines etched by sun and wind from all our adventures. From his pack, he pulled a battered flask, unscrewing it with a practiced twist and passing it to me, our fingers brushing in a fleeting, electric moment that neither of us rushed to break, the touch sending a subtle warmth through the chill. We settled near the fire, the whiskey's warmth spreading through my veins like liquid fire as we passed the flask back and forth, each sip loosening the day's tension and easing the knots in my muscles. Stories unfolded in the flickering glow, tales of boyhood adventures in tangled woods, where we'd built forts and dreamed big. First loves that fizzled under the harsh lights of city life. The magnetic pull of the mountains that had bound us as mountaineering partners all these years, drawing us back time and again. Jordan's voice dropped lower, softer as he leaned closer, the space between us shrinking until I could feel the heat radiating from him. Out here, Alex, it's just us. No masks, no bullshit. Just you and me, against whatever the world throws our way, he said, his eyes locking onto mine with a raw intensity that made my pulse quicken. The air thickened, glances turning heavy, charged with unspoken possibility, our shared history weaving into something deeper, unspoken but undeniable in the firelight's dance, shadows playing across his features like secrets waiting to be revealed. Jordan's voice dropped to a hushed murmur, barely rising above the storm's relentless howl outside the cabin, the wind rattling the windows like impatient fingers. You're the only one who gets me, Alex, he said, his eyes searching my face with a raw, unguarded vulnerability that felt like a confession years in the making, stripping away layers we both kept hidden. Out here with you, it's just real. No pretending, no holding back, just us. His hand rested on the flask between us, fingers still, as if bracing for what he just laid bare. The weight of his words hanging in this air like the storm clouds outside. My heart pounded, louder than the thunder shaking the walls and vibrating through the floorboards. Jordan's words sinking deep into my core, stirring feelings I'd buried under layers of friendship. "Feels right with you, Jord," I replied, my voice low, thick with emotion I hadn't dared name before. The admission tasting both terrifying and liberating on my tongue. I leaned closer, our faces inches apart, the air between us heavy with unspoken longing, thick enough to touch. Our gazes locked, time slowing to a crawl, and I moved first, closing the gap with a tentative kiss. Soft, hesitant, but sparking with an electric warmth that surged through us both, like a current finding its path after wandering lost. The kiss deepened into a raw hunger, lips crashing. Dawn broke over the mountains, sunlight slicing through the thinning clouds like a gentle blade, spilling a soft, golden glow through the cabin's cracked, grimy windows, chasing away the remnants of night. The storm's wild roar had faded into memory, leaving a serene calm that seemed to echo the newfound clarity between Jordan and me. Our connection now unspoken but certain, a solid foundation we built in one transformative night. We lay tangled in each other's arms, the warmth of our closeness lingering on my skin, the fire reduced to glowing embers that still cast a faint warmth across the rough wooden floor, a reminder of the passion that had burned bright. Jordan stirred first, propping himself up on one elbow, his eyes catching the light with a playful glint that mixed mischief and affection. "So you ready for the next adventure, or what?" he teased, his smirk carrying a tenderness that hadn't been there before, softening the edges of his rugged features. I laughed softly, reaching out to brush a hand through Jordan's messy hair, my touch lingering, savoring the intimacy. "With you? Hell yeah, always," I replied, my grin wide and unguarded, a promise in my tone that extended far beyond the trails. We rose slowly, packing our gear with the ease of long habit, our shoulders brushing now and then, each contact a quiet affirmation of what we'd found, electric reminders. Stepping out into the crisp morning air, the world felt fresh and renewed. The mountain trail, stretching ahead like an invitation to endless possibilities. Our strides fell in sync, love woven into every step, a hopeful commitment to face whatever lay beyond the horizon together, side by side.